In this video, I'm going to talk to you real quick. Maybe not too quick, but I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I don't, I mean, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've got a bunch of stuff to do as far as waking up and crushing the day. But I want to give you this value, fam. And I want to tell you why you're not making progress in business, in your relationship, when it comes to making money or manifesting the vision and the dream life that you want, everything and everything. I'm going to explain to you why you're not making any progress. If you don't know my story already, you'll know that I come from a small city. You know that I come from Rochester, New York. And man, I was not born with any of these glitz and glamour type items. The luxury was not even like a reality to me. I didn't know anything about luxury. I didn't know anything about designer clothes. I didn't know anything about affluence. I didn't even know the words. You know what I'm saying? I saw my mom and my dad, kind of work normal life, kind of struggle a little bit. I mean, I wasn't like super like poor, but we definitely weren't rich. The idea of wealth wasn't really a concept. We were very frugal. We were caught up always in scarcity. Sure, I got gifts and I, had a privileged life to an extent in comparison to some, but bro, like there's levels to this shit, right? There's levels to this shit. So I want to tell you about, what I've been able to do to get to where I'm at, what's worked for me. And I want to give you some game on why you're not seeing the progress and the results that you want in business, life, relationships, making money, manifesting your dream, whatever the case may be. Maybe you want a car, maybe you want a new living situation, maybe you want a different, relationship status, maybe, a body goal, a physical goal, anything, right? It all comes down to you and your mindset. Number one, your mindset is going to be a huge component in this, right? And so many times we trick ourselves. The brain is really designed to protect you. Kind of going back to like fight or flight, like the survival mechanism. Your brain is really not here by default to help you reach your goals unless you use it in the correct way with your mental faculties. I'm going to see if I'm able to share the screen here. Because here's the reality, fam. You don't really understand how powerful your mind is. That's the basic principle of what I want to extract from this right now, because the chances that you're really just worrying a lot. You're worrying about the wrong things. You're stressing about the things. You're focusing so much on the problem that the solution or the answer or what needs to happen is just, it's invisible for you. You can't even see it because you're focusing your attention is so much on the issue, so much on the problem, so much on the negative, on the thing that you're trying to get away from. Like you look in the mirror, you're not happy with your looks. You look in the mirror, you're not confident. You look at your bed, you're single. You know what I'm saying? You look at your bank account, you're broke, right? And so all you can really do is focus on that. So you think, oh my God, like this is what it is. But brother, I'm here to tell you that you can change your reality. If you change your mind, you change your reality. You change your thoughts, you change your reality. Okay, you change the world the way that you see the world. All of a sudden, the way that the world looks changes, right? You start to change your perspective and your outlook on things, and everything starts to shift. But until you do that, you're going to only see the problems because that's what you're focusing on. And I understand that. I've been there before. I know what it's like to be, broke, single, heartbroken, confused, lost, bro. Feeling like you're failing business. I know what that's like. Okay. And so the only thing that you're going to be able to do is just get straight to work, bro, on yourself primarily. Okay. So many times we think, it's a matter of what we need to do, but it's really a matter of who we need to become. Let me see if I can share this image with you real quick. So I've had a lot of mentors in the game, like Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, man, Abram Hicks, Wes Watson, Grant Cardone. Dude, I've listened to so many people. I've read over hundreds and hundreds of books. I've got a book list that I might even drop. The list seriously goes on. Napoleon Hill, Eckhart Tolle. Bro, like I've read so many books. Literally, there was a time and I was reading like 60 books per year. Even today, in this day and age, 2024, I'm listening to audiobooks constantly, reading books constantly, because I've always been a truth seeker, right? And as I started to pick up books and learn more is when I realized the power of the mind, right? Like 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene, Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. Everything you already need is right here, fam. That's really what I want you to understand. Like your mind needs like you got to realize that everything you need is right here. It's within. Okay. And you're always manifesting. It's like breathing. You can't not manifest. You're always manifesting. So people constantly think, oh, I'm going to manifest this, I'm going to manifest that, like in this future realm. But you're always manifesting, whether you realize it or not. It's like you're breathing. You're just not manifesting in direction that you want to. You're not manifesting in congruence with the desired outcome. You're not in alignment with what you want. Why? Because you're in alignment with the problem. So until we're able to raise our frequency, raise our vibration, change our focus, you're not going to be able to attract or manifest anything. You're going to get the same old this, the same old that. Whatever you're focusing on, right, is ultimately what you're going to bring into fruition. More of that, because where attention goes and where focus goes, it grows. So if you're focusing on being single and the pain and all that stuff, or your bank account and being broke, bro, you won't. How are you going to attract more when you're focusing on less? You understand me? So it's a mental paradigm that we need to shift. Now, what is a paradigm? A paradigm is ultimately just your subconscious way of seeing the world, how you view the world. It's your set of beliefs, thoughts, principles, and ideologies in which how you see the world. Okay. It'd be dope if I could write on here. But if you're not taking notes, I don't know what you're doing. Definitely take notes. I'm going to show you how. Let me see if I can share the screen real quick here. So look. These are your mental faculties, right? Now, your brain is taking us over to LinkedIn. Your brain is you got the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere. In one of my most recent videos, I talk about the difference between your left brain and your right brain. But let's just zoom in on this, okay? Because your brain, as you can see, is conducted and comprised with these different mental faculties, which most people, you're probably, including you, aren't using to the fullest, to the maximum capability. Your imagination, right? Your intuition, your memory, your reason, and then your perspective. And then there's also one more, which is your perception. Let me take a look here so I can show you these. All right, and your will. So there it is. Get this full picture up for you. Hopefully you can see this, right? So your imagination, what is that? That is like your ability to create ideas. Intuition is your ability to tap into the frequency that's already there, the things that are already there, right? Your intuitive, your gut. Your memory is your ability to obviously recall things. Reasoning skills, key. You need to be able to make reason and find meaning and connections, right? And then your perception, which is how you see things, and then your will, which is ultimately your willpower, right? Your solar plexus and your ability to take action. Because the reality is you're not going to manifest or reach your goals without taking proper action. What does this mean? How does this work when it comes to, reaching your goals, etc.? This might look cascaded real quick. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to end the share. So hopefully that helps you. Now, the reality is you're worrying too much. You're worrying so much that you're afraid, right? You're operating at a low vibration because you're living your life in fear. Every decision you make is based off of what you have going on, right? You're not operating from a place of the imagination where, you're acting in accordance to what if or the end goal. You're thinking, how do I get this? How do I get that? How does this work? When you really just need to figure out, like, who would I be? Who do I need to be in order for this all to work out? So many people get this idea confused. But you've got people who, for example, J.K. Rowling, LeBron James, Steve Jobs, these are great people who essentially called it before it even happened in real time, right? And until you're able to make that claim and you just claim it before it's even there, you'll just be creating a gap between you and your future desired self, when you really just need to be there now. Own it now. That's the key. And start working on yourself now as if that person is already there. You're already that person. The outcome is already done, right? You can't be halfway in, halfway out. You got to really stick to what you know you want and act as if it's already done. But the problem is you don't see it happening. So you're like, how can you've got like an imposter syndrome, because you're like, bro, like, you sit around, you tell yourself these goofy affirmations and you do all these mantras, but your subconscious mind knows the reality. So you got to find a sweet spot where you're not being ridiculous or you sounding silly, but to the point where it's like, okay, maybe you're single, maybe you can't get girls, but at least start taking action, loving yourself, seeing yourself as somebody who could get women, or if you're a girl who can attract men, right? But until you see yourself as that, you won't be that. So start taking action, start approaching, start putting yourself out there, getting onto different platforms, and building that identity instead of just identifying with the problem, identifying with the issue, identifying with the scenario that you don't want. You identify your brother. Listen, you're identifying with the issue, and then you're just creating a negative spiral when you do that. You're like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. You're literally creating self-limiting beliefs and self-fulfilling prophecies every time you do that. Every time you do that, you're just reaffirming to yourself that which you don't want. So you need to start working your way out of that. And the only way you do that is by changing your mindset. And then once your mindset has changed, we're talking about your frequency, your vibration, your thoughts, and ultimately the way you see, right? Your imagination, your reasoning skills, your will starts to change. The things you do and the actions you take change, because now you're acting as if you're already in a frame of mind now where it's like you see possibilities, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And your perception starts to change. And then you start to have mental cognition and memory, like, oh, wait, like you start to remember times when, you were in a relationship, or you remember times when you got money. You remember how that felt. And then you go back to that. And then all of a sudden things start to work out. Doors start to open. The universe starts to unfold for you. The universe makes way for those who know where they're going. The universe creates a path for the people who know where they're going. It's as simple as that. So the more clear and aligned with where you are going, the path just gets easier and easier to go through, to eventually you're in the flow state. Once you're in that flow state, you lose track of time, you lose track of pretty much everything, because it doesn't even matter. Now you're in the vortex of simply creation through your consciousness, because you are a conscious creator. You've consciously created everything that's going on in your life right now. The scenario you're in right now, the lifestyle you have, the results, your environment, it's all a result. It's all a result. It's like a product. Like your mental faculty is like your mental factory, and everything that you've got going on is due to the workings and the work that you've done. Whether you want to admit it or not, you've got to be honest with yourself. You really got to be honest with yourself. Until you're able to do that, the world won't be honest with you. You'll be living in a way where you're inauthentic, and authenticity is literally the highest form of vibration. It's above love. So you really want to figure out how to authentically be you. And the best version of you is the real you. That's your greatest version, right? That's who you're meant to be. In another quantum world, in another lifetime, or in the same lifetime, though, ultimately, that version of you exists. But how do you get there? That's what this is about. It's already there, but you need to start matching up to the frequency. That's what you need to do. You're not there yet because your self-image is shot. You don't have the self-image of yourself as that type of person. You're still, again, stuck on everything that you don't want. You got to switch perspectives, because the world doesn't give you, what you want. It gives you, whatever you are. It's a bar. You might want to drop that in the comments, write that down. Right. So just because you claim you want something, if your self-image and if you're deep down subconsciously and you really internally don't believe that, if you can't really internalize that, then you're not only going to feel like a fraud, but the world's not going to give you that. It's going to G-check you, and it's going to be like, bro, he wasn't really about that. She wasn't really about that. Because everybody wants things, right? Everybody wants the good life, but why do so many people not get there? Because realistically, there's a difference between want and desire. But when it comes to desire, we're not talking about a low frequency desire, because when you desire, you're ultimately signaling to the universe a need or a want. Again, there's that gap. So remove your desire and just own it right now in this moment. That's the key. And then you have to let time catch up while you're taking action in every single moment. Let time catch up to you rather than you chasing the future. That's a bar. Let time catch up to who you are rather than you trying to work towards some vision of the future. That's what you need to do, because the world and Your outer world is just it's a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, right? That is within is the same as that's without. So until you truly feel and resonate with the frequency and you're in alignment with the frequency and the vibration of that which you want, your self-image is on point. Until that moment, your outer world will not be able to reflect anything other than that. So while you're focusing on all the issues, you're focusing on the problems, you're focusing on everything that you shouldn't be, you're not going to be able to get more of that which you desire because you're not focused on that truly. You're focused on the opposite, right? So that's really what you need to do. If you need help with this on a one-on-one level, just shoot me a direct message on Instagram at Wealthy Westbrook. Join the coaching program. You know what I'm saying? Watch the videos, tap in with the community, join the newsletter. It's all right here, link in the description. And at the end of the day, it's really that easy. You're overthinking it. You're stuck worrying. You got to stop overthinking. Because remember, your brain is just meant to help protect you. But you don't have any real perceived threats. Your biggest threat is yourself. And there's no matrix trying to hide information from you. The CIA is not trying to hide shit from you. The biggest problem you have is your mindset. The biggest problem you have is your inability to see that which really is because you're so focused on what's not. That's a bar. All right. Elevate and thrive. Peace. Dropping bars on their head top. You close what?